Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to do Chapter 9, Product Management and New Product Development. This is something that has definitely become very important the past couple of years with major advances in technology. You look at Amazon, you see a lot of new products that are really gaining a lot of popularity, a lot of new products, a lot of new technologies. Specifically in the past 5 to 7 years, the newest technology I think has become just as big as the internet itself is cloud technology, which pretty much has replaced physical servers. A lot of companies have everything in the cloud. They don't even have a server, or if they do, it's one server that basically has the bare minimum, bare bones. So tonight we're going to talk about understanding how product lifecycle affects strategy planning, describe what is involved in designing new products and what new products really are, understand the new product development process, appreciate the team effort that goes into new product development, understand the need for product or brand managers, understand how total quality management, TQM, we'll talk about that, can improve goods and services, and we'll show some videos on what TQM is exactly and how it works, and understand important new terms. So Chapter 8 introduced product planning, which we spoke about, while Chapter 9 covers product management and new product development. Key issues in Chapter 8, we discussed the strategy planning decisions that need to be made for new products and sometimes changed for existing products. In this chapter, we'll investigate how successful new products are developed in the first place and what marketing managers need to know and to do to manage their growth. We'll also ask about total quality We'll also talk about total quality management. 3 major discussions will revolve around product lifecycle, new product development, and managing brands. And I can just tell you that one of the most successful ways of creating a new product is understanding pain points of customers, understanding things that annoy customers. People are looking to solve a problem. If you're able to solve that problem, you will gain instant success. Slide 4 is a graphic of the typical life cycle of a new product. Remember, there is no exact trajectory path that every product takes. Some go through this very quickly, some go through this very slowly. So we have different stages here. We have market introduction, market growth, market maturity, and sales decline. At each juncture, there's different levels of marketing. Obviously, in sales decline, you're not really marketing much. You're trying to just squeeze what you can. Market introduction and market growth, you're doing a great deal of marketing, kind of dialing it back or changing the style of marketing in the market maturity plateau. So the product life cycle is concerned with new product categories and not individual brands. Although an individual brand can have an internal product life cycle, but that's not really what we're looking at here in this chapter. The marketing mix changes throughout the product life cycle in response to changes in customer needs or attitudes, repositioning of a product, or changes in the competitive structure of the industry. Total industry sales start out very low in the market introduction because people don't know about the product yet, increase to their peak in market maturity, and then of course decline. Profits change during the life cycle, but not in tandem with industry sales necessarily. Industry profits decline while industry sales are still rising, and sometimes the company does the right thing. It could still be doing well while the rest of the industry is not, because it puts an interesting swing on things. Perhaps it introduces its product in different markets, and that falls under the responsibility of leadership, C-level individuals, or even the CEO on top to be able to look at different opportunities that they could take in order to be able to do the right thing and of course make as much profit as possible for their shareholders. Market introduction, investing in the future. There are low sales, informative promotion to get people to know about things, educate people, and invest for future profits. So in the marketing, again, so to just recap, in the market introduction stage, sales are low as the idea is first introduced to the market. Key issues are informative promotion is needed to tell potential customers about the advantages and uses of the new product. Even if the product offers superior value, customers do not know about it. Most companies experience losses because the process of informing and educating consumers takes time. Company resources are being spent in market introduction, but revenues are not very large yet. They may even be non-existent because of the lack of knowledge of the product or service. companies still invest money in the hope of obviously future profit, and people have to be realistic and realize products don't always become instant hits. Yes, you had a question. Go ahead. Well, Uber, I mean, think again, as I mentioned, Uber was a solution for a pain point. How many of you gotten so annoyed going to car service and sitting around waiting forever? That's happened to me so many times. And then you have the dispatch, don't worry, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. 20 minutes later, he's still coming. What I love about Uber is, especially dealing with my elderly parents, is that many times they don't have patience to wait for Access-a-Ride. So I've already put their credit card on my account. And anytime they need to go somewhere, just give me a heads up, and it's a dream. It's unbelievable. I know they're traveling with a home attendant, a home health aide. I'm able to get them, a larger car so they have enough room and feel comfortable. And that's why I think Uber is so successful. And I think what Uber did that was extremely smart was due to Uber Eats, and now with Uber and Starbucks, because they realized, especially during the pandemic, that people will be riding less in cars, but will still need to order in and be able to, feel somewhat normal. So, I mean, this pick, I'm not worried because I think the idea is sound. And if you look at Amazon, for the first bunch of years, they didn't really make a profit either. So just because, that doesn't worry me as much. If they're still not making profit in 2 or 3 years, yeah, then I'm worried. I think they're going to be turning the corner very shortly. If you look, I think you said Uber in general. Did you say Uber in general? Give it a couple of years, I think it'll be fine. In a year or two, they'll be turning around. I think the economy has changed so drastically because of COVID. Certain things, even though they won't be as needed as much, have become so normalized. Ordering in has become so much more popular than eating in, I believe. A lot of things you have to remember that happened during COVID that became, quote unquote, the new normal will stay that way and will not, just go away. For example, working from home. I think a lot of companies realize that working from home is not this bad thing, or loss of control of your employees. You don't know what's going on. And I think working from home has become a perk that a lot of people like and want. And I think there's a lot of room for productivity. I know that, from a Turo perspective, I like what I'm doing here. I like doing the Zoom thing. To be honest with you, I don't really see us going back to the classroom like we used to for a long time. Because I think people got used to it and they like it. And even those that say it's not as good, there's no hassle looking for parking, running. I don't have to worry about running from one job to the next. If I'm late, I just tell you guys I'll be a few minutes late, or I could broadcast from anywhere, and that's an amazing thing. I remember like last year I was doing presentations with my business policy class. I was away on vacation, which is something that I could never do. I could never go away certain parts of June because I was always tethered to Turo. But now at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, sitting near the pool. No problem. Just hid my camera because nobody has to see me, in my, my pool gear. And I'm just sitting there watching presentations and grading them and being totally productive, which is great. That's interesting. If you look at this slide over here, obviously the slides here are dated. Not so much the information, some of the pictures, but here you see the Palm 5. Now, you may remember what this is. Back in the early 2000s, Palm was a very, very profitable, very, very popular product for productivity. It predated the smartphones. Back in the day, if you were a business person, you were literally like Batman. You had a utility belt. You had a beeper, cell phone, and what we call a PDA, a personal digital assistant. We had all your phone numbers, able to write notes. With the advent of the smartphone back in the late 2000s, or like 2007, 2008, it obviated the need for these devices, but they were hot. I remember there was a Palm 7, I believe, that had an antenna that connected you to the internet. So you had everything but the phone. You're able to go check stock prices. It was very advanced for the time. And then the Trio came out, if you remember what that was. That was the real, that was basically a fat and stubby version of the BlackBerry, which had the Palm interface and had a fantastic keyboard. You were able to put in information. It was very, very popular. And of course, once Apple came out with the iPhone, everything went south with these companies. They were basically replaced overnight. So summary, in the market growth stage, industry sales grow fast, but industry profits rise and then start falling as the popularity starts waning. Key issues: the innovator realizes big profits and attracts competition, of course, because everybody wants to get in on it. Competitors may try to copy the innovator or to improve on what the innovator has introduced. Some competitors may try to offer a product to a more narrowly defined target market. As competitors enter, monopolistic competition develops, leading to downward sloping demand curves. We're not going to go into that. That's the realm of economics. I don't really want to get off the rails over here. Industry profits reach their peaks in the stage, but then begin to decline with more competition and increasing consumer price sensitivity. Just want to see something here for a minute. Give me a minute. Let me get a good definition here. So the definition, I just want to touch on it real quickly. The definition of monopolistic competition is a market structure which combines elements of a monopoly and competitive markets. Essentially, a monopolistic competitive market is one with freedom of entry and exit, but firms can differentiate their product, and they're trying to get everyone to realize that their products are different. Therefore, they have an inelastic demand curve, and so they can set prices. However, because there is freedom of entry, supernormal profits will encourage more firms to enter, because everybody wants to get on the action, leading to normal profits in the long term. Here, if you look, there's a website here. You can go to economicshelp.org, blog 311. Here you have a demand curve for those of you that are interested in economics over here. Let's just see some examples. Let's see if they have any examples. Restaurants compete on quality of food as much as price. Product differentiation is a key element of the business. Same thing with hairdressers, clothing, etc., etc. Just wanted to quickly touch on that to give you some context. We move on to the next slide. Market maturity stage, sales level off, profits continue downward to continue down. In the market maturity stage, sales level off as mentioned, and competition continues to increase because everyone sees the profitability, so everybody wants to get in on the action. Most of the products we use every day are mature products. So look at Coca-Cola, for example, classic Coke, old school Coke. It's been at the maturity stage, I don't know how many decades. In general, I think soft drinks are at that maturity stage. Key issues: promotion costs increase in price competition as some segments cuts into profits because of that increase in promotion. As a result, some of the firms that are less efficient are forced to drop out of the market because they just can't keep up with the need to increase their promotion. Because as the market matures, people, you have to constantly promote to remind people that you're still out there and you're still viable. Some new firms may enter the market in the maturity phase, but competing with the established strong competition is difficult, and of course, many of those fail. Persuasive promotion becomes more important as competitors try to encourage consumers to buy one brand over another. As consumers view the brands as being more and more similar, they become more price sensitive and demand becomes increasingly elastic. The maturity phase may last many years until a new product idea comes along. Move on to the next slide. Sales decline at time of replacement. During the sales decline stage, new products replace older ones. Price competition is common, and sales are primarily to the most loyal customers or to those who have waited the longest to enter the market. Strong brands may continue to be profitable, especially if marketers cut back on their expenditures and lower the cost of production and marketing. Conservative buyers may finally switch to new product, or they may not. Slide 11, basically product life cycles should be related to specific markets. We have individual brands and market definitions. It is important to remember that the product life cycle concept applies mainly to product categories or product classes. Sales and profits for an individual brand will not follow the classic life cycle pattern because of its individuality. Key issues: individual brands may not follow the pattern. For example, a new brand may be introduced as a Me Too product in the growth stage to capture a piece of a fast-growing market, and then, of course, fizzle out. A weak brand may not achieve the same results as a preferred brand. Each market should be carefully defined. A product in the maturity stage in one country might be in the market growth stage in another country. And that's a lot of times products that are mature or kind of on their way out in one country can be reintroduced in, let's say, an emerging market, in a second world country, where they would appreciate that. I forgot where I saw a lot of these third world countries are really into like older iPhones and old Samsungs. Very useful there. People can afford them, and to them it's considered to be new and novel technology. Each also, the breadth of the market definition can be determined, can determine the overall length of the life cycle. Wider market definitions may contribute to longer life cycle. Okay, so again, over here, the market definition, as we mentioned, should be carefully developed. Different markets at different stages and contribute to the length of the cycle, as mentioned. Okay, we move on to slide 12. Product life cycles vary in length. How long a product life cycle takes may vary across different product categories. Managers can estimate the likely length based on the life cycles for similar products. If there are any, market research can help, but managers are more concerned with the length of a life cycle stage than with the length of the whole cycle, because it's just too long, it's too big for them to look at the entire cycle. It's like too many years. It could take dozens of years. It's much better and more effective to look at things as, you know, as they come up, not in one great jumble. Key issues: some product ideas move quickly through early life stages. The adoption process can be faster under certain conditions, especially when we deal with technology. Sales growth faster if the product is easy to use. Its advantages are easy to communicate, obviously, then it'll make it grow quickly. If consumers can test it out, that's why a lot of products are sent, you know, like for example, when a baby is born, you get your name, they send you samples because they're eager for you to test it out and use it. So the consumer can test out the product, this reduces their risk, and then the product can proceed more quickly through market introduction. So there's a new formula, a new diaper or something like that, and you get a sample of it, and people start liking it. It can actually boost sales very quickly. Things will start growing very quickly. If the product is compatible with the values and experiences of target customers, they'll be more likely to purchase it, therefore quickening the pace of sales. Slide 13, the purpose. Okay, this is just an exercise of one of those video things. We can skip that. Slide 14, other issues in the length of the product life cycle. Product life cycles are getting shorter, especially with technology. Microchip processing just changes overnight practically. Innovations yield more products. They replace older products faster than before. Marketing managers often wonder if it's better to be the first to market or to come later. Come later, you learn on other people's, you learn through other people's mistakes, but again, you fail to capture that first mover position. The pioneer is the first to market with a new product idea, with the second mover often quickly following the pioneer. Research has shown that a fast second mover strategy is usually best, while first movers like FedEx still own their category. Other products like the iPod and Amazon.com were fast followers that came in later with a better marketing mix to dominate their market. The same thing with Facebook. Facebook came along and replaced all these MySpace and all these other, I don't even know what they were anymore because it's such a long time ago, but they became ubiquitous, learning from the mistakes of others and basically replacing them. The nature of the product, whether it's a fashion or fad, can affect the length of life cycle. Yeah, true, there's never an end to it, but I feel that like in the beginning of social media, Facebook made such a big splash that it's just not going away. And actually Facebook is very, very much minded at a certain demographic. It's more of the younger middle-aged to middle-aged people. There's a tremendous business element, and so does Instagram. I mean, a lot of people advertise themselves on Instagram. Even entertainment. Entertainers have it, especially entertainers. There's that Israeli guy Modi, a comedian. He uses, I follow him on Instagram. He uses that extensively to promote his funny clips and his YouTube comedy routines, and that's how people learn about it. So the more venues you're on YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, you're on all these different things, you have a better chance of making a splash. That's why I make such a big deal about advertising courses on WhatsApp to the Turo chat, because I want students to know what's going on, and it helps me get the word out to students who are looking for this information, because otherwise they may not even know about it. The nature of the product, whether it's a fashion or fad product, can affect the length of the life cycle. Fads obviously move through quickly. I don't know if that sending out an email would be the better way of doing it. It would be nice if people just got messages to their phones. That would be a better way of doing it. But okay, it's a work in progress. I'm happy now that the online courses are finally being put in a more easier to find area on the website. I don't know if they listen to me or it was always in their plans, but I see incremental change that's making me feel better. Fashion, the currently accepted or popular style. Fad is an idea that is fashionable only to a certain group who are enthusiastic about it. And fads are totally unpredictable. For example, back in the 1970s, this unemployed person in a bar came up with this crazy idea called a pet rock. What would possess people to buy a pet rock? I don't know, but it became a fad. It was unbelievable. Even Crocs, even though Crocs are very comfortable and really nice looking at times, but it was a fad. It came, I mean, it's still around, but I remember, back in the, 2007, 2008, it was the most unbelievable thing in the world. Everyone was buying it and you have to have it. I mean, it's still there now, but it's definitely lost its flair and its allure. The product life cycle for fashions and fads tend to be happy but short. They sell extremely well, but only for a limited period of time, and using the Croc as an example. So, planning for different stages of the product life cycle. Key issues. Marketing managers typically adapt the marketing mix, meaning the price, product, place, and promotion, the different levels of it, as a product moves through the marketing life cycle. For example, in the market introduction stage, there are usually one or few products. As the life cycle moves to market growth, a variety of products enter the market as firms try to find the best product. Firms also work to build familiarity for their brands. In the first two stages of the product life cycle, firms build channels of distribution. Some brands choose to go more selectively and use fewer distribution channels. Customers may know little or nothing about a new product idea, so promotion in the introduction stage focuses on informing customers, because that's the point of time that you really want to get through to your customers and get them to know what's going on. As customers learn about the product, promotion emphasizes persuading customers about why a particular brand is best. Pricing may involve skimming, setting a high initial price, or penetration with a low initial price to get their foot in the door. As market growth ensues, brands often have to meet their competitors' price or start price dealing, and the competitive situation evolves as well. While the first to market may initially have a monopoly, soon afterwards it's typical to see other competitors join in, and monopolistic competition, where everybody has similar products, takes over. Eventually a market may settle on a few competitors and operate in an oligopoly, which is basically like your car industry, several large producers, or your cola industry. That basically happens because the others fail or never make a splash. We move on to changes in the marketing mix, the product life cycle. Key issues: as the product life cycle moves toward market maturity and decline, the marketing mix typically changes again. In a mature market, many brands duke it out in the battle of the brands. As sales in the category decline, some brands drop out, and those that stay can reap the remaining profits. Many firms move toward more intensive distribution as the life cycles move into market maturity, and of course ultimately sales decline. Promotion moves to greater persuasion and then reminding, because they have to, because there's just so much white noise, so many others out there doing the same thing, so you have to stand out, you have to keep on hitting the pavement. With many brands in the market, prices are often adjusted to meet the competition, possibly using price cuts and deals to win businesses to their side. And of course, this cuts into their profit margin, but it's something that you may have no choice but to do. The competitive situation moves from monopolist to competition or oligopoly and heads towards pure competition, where the survival of the fittest remains the name of the game, and of course eventually total sales decline. Here's a cute one over here where a dog is basically digging a hole in the middle of the street. Really cute one, I like that one. A product must have clear competitive advantages as it moves into maturity. The advantages will have been identified and developed throughout introduction. All the different details have been fleshed out already. And growth, it's important that the market knows what that advantage is. Products seldom speak for themselves. They need to be spoken for. Those that can speak for themselves are fewer and far to come by. Key issues, for example, dog food is a mature product category. The whole category is mature. There are literally hundreds of brands of dog food. Go down to Iams or any of these other pet stores and you can see that for yourself. In maturity, promotion emphasizes the building of selective demand for the brand and insistence on the brand. That's why you have your I only drink Coke or I only drink Pepsi. It becomes more of an issue during this market maturity stage. Move on, phasing out dying products. At some point it may become necessary to discontinue the product. Sometimes what I've seen, like car companies like BMW, they'll phase out a whole line and then just bring it back 15 years later to regenerate itself. I've seen that. It's pretty interesting. I think they did it with their 6 Series. For a while they discontinued it and then they brought it back in. So again, at some point in time, it may become necessary to discontinue the product. This decision must weigh profitably against product line considerations and customer support obligations. Key issues: in sales decline if it is determined that the product will not contribute to the achievement of the organization's objectives in the future. A phase-out strategy may become necessary. If marketers end a plan too quickly, they may incur losses due to distribution and promotion expenditures made previously under the assumption that the plan would cover a longer period. They'll have penalties, get stuck. If marketing costs are reduced in accordance with the phase-out strategy, loyal customers may still continue to purchase the product, and this residual demand may generate profits. Slide 19, new product planning. So competition is strong and dynamic in most markets, so it is essential for firms to keep developing new products and modifying old products. Key issues to look at is that new product, first of all, is one that is new in any way for the company concerned. The newness included totally new inventions and simple color changes into existing products could make something new. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. New products can be grouped into 3 categories based on the extent to which customers have to change their behavior to adopt the new product. Continuous innovations don't require customers to learn new behaviors. It's always good. People a lot of times don't want to learn new things. Dynamically continuous innovations require minor changes in customer behavior, and discontinuous innovation requires the customers adopting innovation significantly change their behavior and learn a whole set of things. Federal Trade Commission, otherwise known affectionately as the FTC, basically the federal government agency that policies anti-monopoly laws, states that a product is new for only 6 months. In the FTC's view, a new product must be either entirely new or changed in a functionally significant or substantial respect. Ethical issues in new product planning abound. These ethical debates include criticism against companies for holding back new product innovations, especially in the field of medication, especially in the field of cancer drugs. Planned obsolescence, this is especially true in technology. Companies come out with laptops or desktops that are already pretty much obsolete, releasing products the company will soon replace, making people want to buy new stuff. Failure to supply replacement parts through the useful life of a product, making it basically worthless very quickly. Continuous release of minor product variations in markets that are saturated. Apple was definitely guilty of this for a long time. Marketers need to be sensitive to the possible consumer backlash caused by these ethical dilemmas. All right, let's move on to slide 22. New product development. So there's a bunch of different phases. We go from idea generation, the screening, the evaluation of the idea, development, and commercialization. New product development is essential, however, it is risky. An organized new product development process may help. Key issues: new product development is expensive, and many of these products ultimately fail. Some products don't offer a unique benefit, or competition is underestimated. Design and cost issues or poor timing, either too quick an introduction or too slow, may doom a product to failure. It's all about the timing. The new product development process is an organizational approach for bringing new products to market. So I want to give you an example of poor timing. And it's not so much timing, but it's also poor planning. This is going back to, I don't know, I think 2008, during the Christmas season, where there was a lot of talk about one of the gaming systems. I don't remember if it was a Sony or some other brand, but they were supposed to be the latest and the greatest. The only problem was they didn't produce enough. And they got a lot of people upset, because there's nothing more disappointing than not being able to get your significant other or your loved one the gift that they want. And I remember it was Nintendo that benefited tremendously, because they quickly took that spot because they had enough product and people were willing to forego whatever that was, the Sony PlayStation, I believe it was, and settle for the Nintendo, even though it may not have been as good or as cool, as full of features, but it was definitely, what they say, good enough. And again, nobody wants to come home empty-handed during their holiday shopping, so it was something that basically was a timing issue, and it was kudos to them. So again, design and cost problems or poor timing, either too quick an introduction or too slow, may doom a product to failure. The new product development process is an organized approach for bringing new products to market. It has 5 stages: idea generation, screening, idea evaluation, development, and commercialization, the final step when you get the product out there. The process tries to kill new products economically by progressively weeding out products that have a low likelihood of success before they are introduced to the entire target market. Bad ideas are best to die in the beginning. So let's talk about idea generation. Excuse me. New product ideas come from all over: salespeople, production workers, customers, competitors. Sharp companies keep an open mind and eye to many relevant sources of new product ideas. The key emphasis in idea generation is not to discard ideas. The later stages of the new product development process take care of weeding out bad ideas and nurturing good ones. Instead, gathering ideas is the key in idea generation. You want to get as many ideas as possible. As mentioned, ideas can come from many sources. In reverse engineering, companies buy competitors' products, disassemble them, determine how they work, and find ways to improve them. Next slide. Talk about screening. Screening involves evaluating the new ideas in relation to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. As you take the proposed new idea and then you throw it against the SWOT analysis. Key issues: marketing managers should be careful to screen out opportunities that fail to meet these criteria. Consumer Product Safety Act encourages safety in production design and better quality controls. So any idea that has any potential safety issues should be stopped at that point. Product liability: the company has the legal obligation to pay damages to persons injured by defective or unsafe products. So this is why the screening process is so important, to make sure that those products never get commercialized. Finally, return on investment is a crucial screening criterion, and if you can forecast properly, it can help you prioritize product ideas. Those with a higher likelihood of a better ROI are slated for more resources. Those that are not, or those that are not at all, are completely weeded out. Idea evaluation. In the idea evaluation stage, the product ideas that survive the screening process are scrutinized more carefully because they survived. It's kind of like if you look at Chopped or Top or any of these cooking shows that go through different rounds and eliminations. Key issues: concept testing, getting reactions from customers about how well a new product idea fits their needs. Initial evaluation may include focus groups and customers who are asked to react to various aspects of the product idea. More formal studies may involve surveys in which consumers rate different dimensions of the product idea. In the idea evaluation stage, companies often make rough estimates of costs, revenue, and profitability. They do so based on the reactions of final customers, wholesalers, and retailers. Slide 26 talks about development. In the development stage, the product idea is translated into a tangible prototype. In case of physical goods, for a service, the organization works out the details of the training, equipment, and staff required to deliver the service. Key issues: technology has had a big impact on the development of physical products, mainly in the use of computer-aided design, CAD software. I don't know if you've ever seen CAD software. It is the coolest thing in the world. I've gotten free versions of it where you can draw all kinds of crazy things, create buildings. I was playing around with it once and I was able to create an airport. It's the coolest, unbelievable, most fun thing to use if you have time. Once marketers have product and service prototypes, they often get consumer reactions to them before expending the resources needed for a full production run. They do tests. Customers may be involved in co-creation process where customers react to prototypes and suggest improvements. This is especially true when you're talking about professional sports and professional musicians, where they give their input, especially when, let's say, a guitar company like Fender or PRS, Paul Reed Smith, they're dealing with a new, let's say that they want to create a new guitar for Carlos Santana. Okay, so they'll contact him, and what they'll do is they'll ask him, what are you looking for? What are the things that have worked for you? He may say, okay, I love this guitar of mine, I want you to recreate it. And they'll recreate it. The custom shops will recreate it for everything. Even the wear and tear, everything that's there, they'll recreate it. And of course, that's important. Also, you'll get customers who have used other products will say, hey, I like this and I like that. Many of this information can be gleaned during shows where people, meet the producers at these shows, and they have booths and they go in and they discuss what they like or dislike. This process often uses rapid prototyping, where customers' input is received and quickly designed into a revision of the product and then fed back to customers for further input. Marketers may conduct test marketing, which in essence is a dry run of new product introduction, bringing the full marketing mix into play in selected geographic areas. Test marketing is costly and time-consuming, and it may provide information to competitors who will basically steal the information. Finally, commercialization. A product that survives the first 4 steps of the new product development process is ready for what we call commercialization, introduction to the full target market. Key issues to consider here: commercialization. Commercializing a new product is expensive, and success usually requires cooperation for the whole organization. Manufacturing or service facilities are established. Goods are produced in order to fill channels of distribution. Service personnel must be hired and trained, and introductory promotion is executed. Due to the cost and the complexity of a product rollout, some companies prefer to do it gradually, perhaps by geographic areas, until the whole market is covered, when they feel that it's worthwhile and it has legs. This approach may give the marketing staff an opportunity to recognize and correct marketing mix problems before they appear in all areas. So you fix it at that point. Slide 29, new product development, a total company effort. So it depends. So the success depends on many factors. The primary outcome is new product success, but how do we get there? So marketing managers must assure the effective transition of a new product to regular operations. Work out all the kinks, all the things that stop things from working properly. This requires marketing managers to carefully develop a complete marketing plan. The careful analysis that goes into a marketing plan also assures that new products actually deliver superior customer value, another key to success. And products need to be based on effective design, research, making sure that this is what people actually want. Delivering superior customer value emerges from a well-designed and well-implemented new product development process, like the 5-step model we have described. And a well-organized new product development process does not just happen, it's really a total company effort. On the next slide, we'll see the factors that contribute to that process. So, a couple of ideas here: new product development, total company effort, top management support, cross-functional teams, people from different departments cross-pollinating different ideas, clear understanding of customer needs, The culture of innovation, take a company like 3M, where scientists are encouraged to come up with new ideas. People don't have to fear for their jobs if they come up with a dud. Remember, growth can only be gotten through failure. Product champion with an authority. You have somebody who pushes the product and they have authority to push it. Timely development cycle and cost management. Cost add value to make sure that things make a lot of sense. So again, let's go through the bottom here. Managing new product development requires a company-wide effort with clear authority and coordination of these complicated activities. You need to have, as I mentioned, top support. Commitment must be real and explicit and have money, dollars behind this commitment. The highest level of the company should make new product development part of that core business of the company, part of its mission statement and its culture. And that's the way you have sustainable competitive advantage. Allocation of adequate resources can help communicate that commitment. It's kind of like the Mets. They have Steve Cohen, and one of the things that he did was he signed players, particularly Lindor, who's not doing so great now, but hopefully he'll get out of his slump. But as to show his fans that he's committed to success. Firms that foster a culture of innovation also develop a more effective new product development process. Someone must be put in charge of new product development, and the person must have a clear line of authority to get things done. You can't give somebody responsibility and not give them the authority. It's not fair. Cross-functional teams are an important element in new product success. Firms must coordinate research and development with production, finance, marketing to ensure products meet customer needs and come to market in a timely manner. Timeliness is key as firms increasingly find they need to get products to market before customer needs change and ahead of competitors' offerings. Marketing research, listening to customers and anticipating customer needs assures that the firm has a clear understanding of customer needs. Finally, the entire process needs to be conducted in an efficient manner that recognizes trade-offs between cost and customer benefits. Those always have to be balanced against each other. Slide 32, need for product managers. When an organization develops many new product categories, management may decide to put someone in charge of each category just to be able to manage the process or brand to make sure that the appropriate attention is paid to those products. Key issues at hand: product managers or brand managers manage specific products and have promotion as a major responsibility. Some brand managers begin their tasks in the new product development process and continue from there. Product managers are common in large companies that produce many kinds of products. Several product managers may serve under a marketing manager, and product managers are sometimes responsible for their product's entire marketing effort. So it's basically their baby from beginning to end. To avoid the problems that sometimes occur when a product manager has to coordinate several marketing activities, some companies use their product managers as product champions who are mainly concerned with implementing promotional efforts. So take away the rest of the pressure from them. Activities of product managers vary a great deal depending on their experience, aggressiveness, and the company's organizational philosophy. Product managers may work with managers in other countries to decide whether and how to adopt products for different markets. All right, we're almost done. Slide 34, building quality into service. Recently, marketers and service businesses have been paying a lot of attention on improving service quality for TQM, Total Quality Management, which is basically a philosophy that everything and anything that goes into producing this product or rendering the service is of the highest quality. Let's say take a pizza shop and they want to come up with the best pizza. Everything has to be the best. The best pizza ovens, the best pizza makers, best people that roll the dough, the best cheese, the best sauce, the best location for the pizza shop, and the best experience. So even producers of basic commodities have customer service concerns that are part of their overall marketing plans. And whether or not you have TQM at your core, you should always be busy with better quality, bettering your quality and your customer engagement. Key issues at hand: service improvements are somewhat more difficult to implement than improvements in physical goods. One reason is that the server is inseparable from the service. For example, a technically competent physician may have a horrible bedside manner, which is hard. You can't sever the person from rendering the service. The best ways to improve service are to train people and then empower them to serve. And with doctors, it's very hard because I hate to say this, many times doctors think they know it all. Not all doctors, but some of them, and it's very hard to get them to change what they're doing. Role-playing exercises and showing employees how their jobs relate to the total company effort are two effective training techniques. Empowerment, giving employees the authority to correct a problem without checking with management, which is important. If you have to check every move with management, it makes you very frustrated. I've been there, done that. Line level employees are much closer to problems, so giving them the power to correct problems is a way to improve customer satisfaction. Almost done, last slide. Other issues in quality implementation efforts. There are several other things marketers can do to make the implementation of quality improvement efforts more successful. Key issues at hand: managers must lead the quality effort through their actions and involvement. TQM will not work without top-level support. You need to have the buy-in of top C-level executives, CEO, etc. Firms that are successful clearly specify jobs and measure performance. Metrics are so important. Firms must detail what tasks they need to be done, how and by whom, so you know who's responsible. Getting a return on quality is important, so managers must take care to deal with the most critical customer satisfaction issues in order to control costs. Okay, that's the end of the recording. Thank you.